Hello, my astrology friends. This is Lada from AstroladaOfficial. And today I have your favorite sidereal astrologer, Krasi, who is here with us to tell us about the month of February, how it will affect generally the whole world and each of the 12 signs. And I know that sidereally Saturn is changing signs, Krasi. Constellation.
Yes,
Look at it. It's the actual constellations that Saturn is changing. And by the way, Krasi is going to be offering on a big discount a reading specifically about how Saturn will affect you for the next 3 years till 2026 in that new constellation of Aquarius, according to your horoscope. So it's $100 down this reading if you're interested to have one with Krasi. I'll put a link below. So hello, Krasi.
hello, Ada. Hello, everyone. Yes, in 3-4 days, Saturn is entering Sidereal Aquarius after his very long transit into Capricorn. He was 3 years in Capricorn from end of January of 2020 until end of January of 2023. Wada, I see also another, let's say, omen. Tomorrow, when you have what you call in the modern astrology the new moon, or the exact conjunction between moon and the sun, we have something which happens quite rare astronomically. You have the moon in closest proximity to us, to Earth, closest ever. I think the last such phenomenon happened in approximately 900 years before. It happened in 1030 after Christ. So close, or the moon so close to us.
Wow.
And this is happening actually very interestingly, yes, very near Pluto. It is happening in Capricorn. You have 4 planets in Capricorn. We have, of course, moon and sun, because this is the conjunction between the sun and the moon in the vicinity of Altair. You know, this is the star from the Ego constellation, which is about clairvoyance, powerful intuitive skills, you know, very, very interesting star. And Pluto is also very near, not exactly conjoined out there, but very, very near. Venus is also in Capricorn, and Saturn is in the last 30th degree Capricorn. And then you have the moon so strong. It's like the moon is really emphasizing on this assembly, you know, of planets. I think this is very ominous, because the closer the moon is to us, the higher the influence. We will feel the vibration of the moon very, very much, very much.
Do you mean ominous, like in a negative, like scary, or like
No,
omen?
no,
Omen
certainly.
full of omens. Yeah.
Omen, like rare, like something which doesn't happen often. This is what I would rather say to be ominous in this particular case, and this is emphasis on this Pluto Saturn, you know, energy, which, and you know, their conjunction back in, I think it was December years ago, started this very fundamental mundane world events which we are seeing now. And not only we had Jupiter-Saturn conjunction, there were so many, but I'm just listing the ones that might be emphasized one more time now with this powerful moon conjunct. Even though, you know, the moon is called to be fallen in Capricorn, I still think this is very powerful position of the moon. Again, emphasis on the Saturnine energy of the events which will also follow up. So in a couple of days, Saturn is entering Sidereal Aquarius. And this is certainly going to be felt very much in February, because the beginning of the lunar month, the lunar February, let's say, well, so maybe not exactly correct, but almost, is starting actually on the 22nd with the appearance of the moon, one day before the appearance of Saturn, also in Aquarius. So we are emphasizing on Aquarius, the new Aquarius energy. It is like Wada, the new year will start really like to be felt more in February, because Saturn enters, end of January, Aquarius, and the moon appears for the first time in Aquarius. So this will be very, very powerful. How this will be felt? Well, of course, in general, this is something that will influence the next 3 years of our lives. And of course, it will be easier than what we went through while Saturn was in Sidereal Capricorn. It will be easier because in astrology, naturally, the 11th house is house which has benevolent nature, because this is the house of the good spirit, in the traditional astrology. And Saturn is entering this place, the house of the good spirit. Also, it is a lot about collective consciousness. Of course, Saturn will be reforming the 11th house of the zodiac, which is a house of gains, house of children, house of collective, house of highest goals and plans, which we have. So yes, there will be changes too, but I feel that they will not be that to such a degree restrictive as the energies of Saturn in Capricorn were. That's for sure. So yes, the main event will be the next 3 years of Saturn in Aquarius. One more word before we look at the 12 ascendants is that on 19th of April, Jupiter, who now is in Pisces, and very strong, of course, Jupiter is in Pisces in his own kingdom, but on 19th of April, Jupiter is entering Sidereal Aries. From there, Jupiter will be sextiling the transiting Saturn in Aquarius. This is harmonious aspect in astrology, and this will be softening the energy of Saturn. Therefore, I do believe that this is not a bad beginning of Saturn entering Aquarius. Of course, we will feel the change, and I can advise everyone, just go 30 years back and remember how this happened. What was the influence of Saturn in Aquarius in your life, if you, of course, have this memory. So this is just an idea. So yes, this is very important. Also, very briefly to mention that, of course, from April, one very important event in 5 days exactly, Saturn also is becoming invisible, and he will be invisible until 4th of April. Very long, invisibility all the time in Aquarius. He will not be going back into Capricorn. And during his invisibility phase, of course, he will be removing the old. He will be taking away with him what is he ruling, basically, because, it is believed that invisible planet is descending into the netherworld. Like really, he will remove the old structures, old fundamental systems of rulerships, if you want. So he will be seen while he will be in Aquarius, lots of new regimes, new communities, new philosophies, maybe new religions, maybe new type of finances, because he also rules the also in a combination with other planets, he rules the financial systems. But okay, this is more for another conversation. But during these first 3 months, you will see how he's removing the old status quo. Of course, and then when he becomes visible in the beginning of April, many new things will come into life, and this is coinciding with Jupiter in the in Aries harmonious aspect. So I don't see this as really very dramatic, but yes, fundamental changes will still be taking place. Of course, historically they happened as well. So this is just a brief overview, which is not very much to the point, because we have to look at the 12 ascendants for the month of February. And once again, tell you, the first lunar crescent appears in Aquarius, and this is emphasis, like in a positive way, welcoming Saturn in Aquarius. With this first lunar crescent appearing in Aquarius, Saturn enters Aquarius. So I see this as a good, maybe omen, to say so. So yes, thus February starts from 22nd of January. Why I keep saying that? January, and let's start then with the first ascendant. So just to remind we're looking at the 12 ascendants from both sidereal and tropical perspectives. We're looking at Aries sidereal ascendant, and if you're following the modern tropical astrology, this will be Taurus. In case that you do not know your time of birth, then you can use your moon sign. So moon in Aries sidereal or moon in tropical Taurus. So what is happening actually to you? For you, this is benevolent change taking place now, because for you, Saturn will enter your 11th house. This is very good because 11th house is good karma place. It is the house of the good spirit. It is the house of gains, your social circle, finances, children. This is actually quite positive because during the last 3 years you went through enormous career changes, maybe changes in your romantic life, changes in your career place, very fundamental changes you went through. But now you have a relief because you will be like receiving the result from your patience, from your, let's say, from your efforts, because Saturn will be entering, your 11th house, and also the first appearance of the moon is there. Also, what is quite interesting for you, Mercury becomes visible on your 9th house. This in the month of February will be positive for your studies, for travel, negotiations, communication, with people abroad. So this will be quite positive. And also, what I forgot to mention in my overview, Venus will also be in Aquarius in the month of February, and this is benevolent because she will be then positive for your finances. But you will, of course, experience reformations in your money, communication, friendships, and a lot. But you are entering a better period with this great change which is happening to you. And now let's see people who have sidereal ascendant Taurus or moon in Taurus, or if you're following the modern tropical astrology, this will be Gemini. Now for you, Mars is still on your ascendant until 17th of March. Maybe this is a little bit too much, a little bit annoying, because Mars's energy is not he's not really highly dignified on your ascendant. Could be a little bit annoying, could be a little bit challenging for your romantic life. So be patient there more. For you, the first appearance of the moon is on your 10th house. Also, Saturn is entering now in a couple of days your 10th house of your career, of your occupation. Saturn is entering your 10th house, where he will stay for the next 3 years. Very, very important situation for you, because Saturn will start great changes, and you will start feeling this already in the month of February. Big changes. He will be modifying your career place, and this is emphasized also by the moon, which will be influencing your month of February. Like I don't say this is negative. It really depends on placement of Saturn in your natal horoscope. I see this as a reformation. He will be bringing changes in your career place, and this may start already in February. For you, Venus and Mercury becomes visible on your 8th house. This is actually very interesting because he can give you knowledge, he can open doors to knowledge, secrets. He can be positive for finances via partnerships or finances of your partner, or this way he can be financially giving you good results. Also, in February, Venus will be on your 10th house, and she will make smoother this passage, if you want, of Saturn into your 10th house. This will be very helpful for you. Like this, you see changes taking place, out will be removed, but somehow Venus is helping so that the environment, communication with superiors are a little bit more friendly and easy, to adjust to these new energies. Now, let's see people who have sidereal ascendant Gemini or moon in Gemini, or if you're following the modern tropical astrology, this will be Cancer. Now, for you, the first appearance of the moon now is on your 9th house. This is quite good. 9th house is the house of the guru, has very good energy. Also, Saturn, in couple of days, Saturn is entering your 9th house. It will stay there 3 years. This is actually the house of, of studies. He will bring changes related to your education, knowledge, philosophical belief system, religion, even relationship with father. He will be very important. He will also be reforming could be that he brings new education, new purpose. Could be that he opens doors to travel abroad. But this, of course, depends to a detail on your horoscope, on how Saturn is positioned in your horoscope. However, in February, this 9th house of education, travel, knowledge, communication becomes very, very important. Also, in February, Venus will be on the same 9th house. For the same reason, you will feel this Saturn entrance into Aquarius more helped, softer, because of the presence of Venus, which will be creating very harmonious aspect to your ascendant, which actually is very positive. For you, Mercury appears visible in your 7th house, which is fine. Yes, this is your ascendant ruler. This is why this will make relationships to be very important. Mercury will be emphasizing on relationships, on agreements. He can be very helpful financially to have good results from agreements, partnerships. But anyhow, this February for you will be fine with the first appearance of the moon in very benevolent house. And now let's see people who have sidereal ascendant Cancer or moon in Cancer, or if you're following the modern tropical astrology, this will be Leo. Now for you, the first appearance of the moon is taking place right on your 8th house, and this is very important because the 8th house, the moon is your ascendant ruler. So you are very much ruled by the moon. And this appearance of the moon in the 8th house is very important. This is emphasis of everything which is ruled by the 8th house, which is the finances of unexpected sources, the finances of the partner. This is the house which is about secrets, occultism, mystery, mysterious life. It is the house of secrets, of course, occultism, and this is this way the moon is emphasizing on all that. It's like you will be interested in knowledge, in research in the secrets, mysterious world, and also finances of the partner will be important. Finances via unexpected sources and partnerships will be important. And also, in a couple of days, Saturn is entering the very same place, Aquarius, and he will be making reforms in this very same area, which is, all this which I just listed. So you will see how he will be reforming this particular financial resources, which will be derived through partnerships and all this which I just listed. So he will have very serious impact on money, on your awakening, on you seeing the truth. This will be very important, gradual 3 years process, which is already emphasized by the appearance of the moon in your 8th house. In February, Venus will be traveling through Aquarius, which for you actually is also very good because then the entrance of Saturn will be easier, smoother for you to digest, to accept if you want. But this is the main thing also for you in February. The first appearance of Mercury happens for you in February on your 6th house. He may bring interesting results, financially, results in your routine, everyday environment, which actually can be good, can be very helpful. And also, what is not new, Jupiter still in the whole month of February will be in Pisces to trine your ascendant, which is very, very helpful for you and very benevolent. So basically, these are the main energies for you for the month of February. And now we are looking at people who have sidereal ascendant Leo or moon in Leo, or if you're following the modern tropical astrology, this will be Virgo. Now for you, quite interesting, the first appearance of the moon is happening on your 7th house. Emphasis on your romantic life, on your relationships, in both private, but also in more general sense, partnerships, agreements, contracts. All this will be even visible enemies. This will be emphasized by the first appearance of the moon on your 7th house, which, by the way, is Saturn also enters your 7th house to stay there for the next 3 years, and until 17th of March, this will be receiving this harmonious aspect from Mars, meaning that for you, February may not be very, very harmonious. Later on, when on 17th of March, Mars moves into Gemini, you will certainly adjust better to these energies. You will feel better. But until 17th of February, of March in general, be a little bit more careful, be a little bit more, what to say, a little bit more patient with your partner, careful when you do, when you communicate with superiors, careful in your career environment, or how you communicate in general, how you negotiate with people. But this is not such a long challenge, because like I told you, 17th of March, Mars is moving away from Taurus, and then he's really he's not going to be in such challenging position anymore. Then for you, Mercury appears for the first time on your 5th house, fine for your finances, gifts, talents, talented work, communication with children. So this is also quite benevolent. So now we're looking at people who have sidereal ascendant Virgo or moon in Virgo, or if you're following the modern tropical astrology, this will be Libra. Now for you, first of all, for you, because Mercury is ruling you, he is very strong now. Just 3 days ago, he became visible, and this is very good for you in particular because you are ruled by Mercury, and he is quite interesting on your 4th house, from where he may influence your home, career in a positive way. You see, he can bring you new new knowledge, he can make you plan new things, he can make you have new projects in your mind, especially related to career, to personal plans, also to your home, property. So in this sense, Mercury is good. Jupiter remains on your 7th house. This relationships, this is fine. He brings peace there. And the moon appears for the first time on your 6th house to emphasize on your routine, on your job, on organizing stuff, to emphasize on health. And then a couple of days later, Saturn enters Aquarius, your 6th house, and he will be there for the next 3 years, a very long transit of Saturn. Then he will be testing a little bit your routine environment. Could be that he totally modifies your job, your everyday schedule. Could be that he challenges a little bit your health. So from now on, for the next 3 years, you may need to be a little bit more responsible for your health, to stay away from disputes, make sure that you're more disciplined also in your routine environment, so that you have easier Saturn transit. So this is very important. But in general, Jupiter now is in a very good position for you, very benevolent. Now we look at people who have sidereal ascendant Libra or moon in Libra, or if you're following the modern tropical astrology, this will be Scorpio. Now for you, actually, your ascendant ruler Venus in the month of February will be passing through Aquarius, your fifth house. Very good. Fifth house is the house of the good fortune. Fine for your finances, fine for creative activities. But let's not forget that now the first appearance of the moon will also be in Aquarius, to emphasize on Aquarius, on your fifth house, on creative knowledge, on gifts, on talented work, on love and joy, on communication with children, you know, gains too. So this will be the important topic for February. Saturn enters also now your fifth house, Aquarius, and he will be transforming this house, which is communication with children, which is, again, creative knowledge, talented work, money, gains. So Saturn there will be making big transformation on your finances. He will show you different worlds of talents, of creativity. He will make you discover new information, knowledge. Of course, how exactly this will happen can be seen in your horoscope, but in general, for the month of February, this is the emphasis. And Mercury is quite benevolent for you, visible now in February on your third house, to help you learn, study, maybe travel, maybe negotiate, communicate. So this is quite fine for you. And now let's see people who have sidereal ascendant Scorpio or moon in Scorpio, or if you're following the modern tropical astrology, this will be Sagittarius. Now, as you know, until 17th of March, Mars is in Taurus, and Mars is your ascendant ruler. So he is classically considered to be fallen in Taurus. To tell you honestly, I like Mars in Taurus because this is very controlled, very sweeter Mars energy, more strategic. So I don't see this to be troublesome. But because this is happening on your ascendant-descendant axis, could be that you may need to be more careful when you negotiate, when you communicate with your partner in a romantic way, but also partnerships in general. You may need to be more careful when you make financial decisions. This is valid for the whole month of February too. Then the moon appears for the first time on your fourth house, emphasis on the home, communication with parents, property. And also Saturn enters Aquarius, which is your fourth house, where he will be for the next 3 years. He will be modifying your home. Could be that you relocate. Could be that housing, home, property becomes very important. There will be emphasis on this. This may influence your career very much. This may influence your romantic life, because from this position, he will be aspecting your seventh house romantic life, your ascendant. He will be influencing your personal decisions. It will be working on many levels. Very transformative. Well, how exactly this is happening can be seen, of course, in your personal horoscope, but this is the general influence, of Saturn in your horoscope. But of course, right now, also in the month of February, Jupiter is in a very good position in your fifth house, the house of the good fortune, fine for your finances, aspecting harmoniously your seventh house, your ascendant. So actually, he is very helpful for you during the whole month of February. But of course, you and almost like, if not everyone, will go through the important changes which Saturn will bring to us when he enters Sidereal Aquarius. Now let's look at people who have Sidereal ascendant Sagittarius or moon in Sagittarius, or if you're following the modern tropical astrology, this will be Capricorn. Now Jupiter is ruling you. He now is very powerful, beautifully positioned on your fourth house to bring peace in your home, communication with parents, even career. Jupiter is very good, like protecting you. Mercury becomes visible right on your ascendant. This is good. He can give you the impetus to study, to travel, to have new projects, to be like he can give you new ideas. This is fine for plans, fine for projects, money, even travel. The first appearance of the moon happens on your third house, emphasis on study, travel, communication, and shortly after that, Saturn enters Aquarius, where he will be staying for you for the next 3 years. This is your third house. From there, Saturn will be modifying your career place, your education, knowledge. Um, he can make you opt for other type of education. He can make you question your philosophy, belief system, religion, spiritual teachings and studies. He may do that very much because 3 years he will be very much modifying your third, ninth houses. He can put you totally on another spiritual path. You will be surprised how much he will do in this direction while he will be traveling to your third house for the next 3 years. Now, of course, Venus enters any moment Aquarius, and she will make this entrance of Saturn into Aquarius smoother, easier, to digest. So actually for you, this is the main energy for February related to the desires to travel, changes in your travel plans, maybe changes in your study plans, because it's not only the moon which appears on your third house, but the moon is accompanied by Saturn, by Venus, so quite a lot will be happening there. But I think this will be in a good way, because in astrology, the third house is not bad. It's not malefic. Now, let's see people who have sidereal ascendant Capricorn, or if you're following the modern tropical astrology, this will be Aquarius. Now, for you, what to say? Actually, the greatest change happens to you, because you had Saturn for the last 3 years right on your ascendant, which is the house of life, which is you. So even if you have well-positioned Saturn, or you feel to be very Saturnian, like very well acquainted to these energies of Saturn, still this energy is a little bit heavy. It requires a lot of, it requires really to take responsibility, to be very alert, to be very timely, to be very disciplined. Now you will be relieved, because in a couple of days, Saturn is moving away from your ascendant. He was there for the last 3 years, so it's like party time for you. Saturn is moving away. Now, for the last 3 years, he influenced your romantic life, work, personal choice, everything, like everything. It's hard to say what he didn't influence, because it was very, very powerful. But now, he enters your second house, and he will be more specific there. He will be influencing your finances. Finances in any sense, how you invest, how you spend, how you save, what you do with money. In general, the whole financial system about in your life will be modified for the next 3 years. And it starts with February, because then the moon appears for the first time in February in Aquarius. So it will be very much about, money also in February, communication with the family members, family roots, very, very important. And also in February, like I mentioned, Venus will also be in your second house, make this transition smoother, easier, to digest. So in the meantime, Jupiter is in your third house. He also makes harmonious aspect to your ascendant. So this is fine. But it will certainly be great relief for you. You will experience again another level of change, but it will be more specific, because now it was basically on every level of your life. And now, excuse me, we're looking at people who have sidereal ascendant Aquarius or moon in Aquarius, or if you're following the modern tropical astrology, this will be Pisces. Well, you will go through the most important changes, because First of all, now in one day only, 22nd of January, the moon appears for the first time on your ascendant, and only a couple of days after, Saturn enters Aquarius to stay there for the next 3 years. Very important transit. It may influence almost all levels of your life, including your personal choices, priorities, perceptions of this reality, what you really want from this life. Like everything will go through changes, because mainly your house of life, your ascendant will be modified by the presence of Saturn in Aquarius. Very important transit starting already from February. Now, the good thing is that also Venus enters your ascendant to make you feel this better, easier. She will bring these friendly energies to make it easier to digest the Saturn in entrance. In addition, Mercury is very benevolent, visible on your 11th house. Financially, this will be helpful. This will be helpful in your social circle, connections, contacts. So in this way, this will be quite fine. Mars is still on your 4th house, where he will be until 17th of March. So also in February, he will be in a position a bit disharmonious. So be careful how you communicate with people at home, with parents, with superiors, because this may influence also your career place. So these are the main, generally the main changes happening to people with Sidereal Ascendant Aquarius. And now let's see people who have Sidereal Ascendant Pisces or Moon in Pisces, or if you're following the modern tropical astrology, this will be Ascendant Aries. Now for you, Jupiter is still in your on your ascendant. Very good, very supportive, very protective, lucky. Jupiter on your ascendant during the whole month of February, because yes, Saturn now will enter your 12th house. But it happens first with the first appearance of the moon in Aquarius in your 12th house, which actually is emphasis on the 12th house. What is that? These are, the secret invisible enemies. These are chronic complaints, diseases. There is emphasis on health. Doesn't mean that you will become ill, but it means that you may need to be more responsible for your health. It may mean that you may need to be more careful with people who may turn into enemies, because Saturn may create them in order to bring you solutions. Anyhow, the emphasis will be on the 12th house because of the moon appearing there in February. Quite important. So be responsible for your health. Saturn will be transforming your 12th house. Of course, he will show you new horizons of spirituality. He will work on your consciousness. He will work on your intuition, even sleep. He may work on how you perceive abroad, your desires maybe to pursue other, countries. It will be a lot about the 12th house in astrology, which is what I just listed. Mercury appears for you now on your 10th house. Good for your career, can bring new projects, new plans, new perspectives in your career place. And also, what I forgot to mention is that also Venus is entering your 12th house to make this house, especially in the month of February, more benevolent, so that you don't really have the sudden experience these energies as very, maybe very heavy, So this is also very important. In general, February for you also remains very lucky, because Jupiter, very, very powerful in his own kingdom, will be in Pisces, right on your ascendant. So whatever is happening, you remain very lucky, actually. So basically, this is for the 12 ascendants for the month of February. Wada.
Thank you so much, Krasi. And yes, so this is general, but Saturn might be making aspects to your planets when it's transiting. So if anyone wants a personal reading specifically focus on the next 3 years, the influence of Saturn for you. And hopefully, because Saturn is in good exaltation, sidereally, that can, even the hard aspects can be useful for people.
Yeah, very
Yes,
true.
Krasi is offering a big discount on such a reading, $100 off, only $140 if you're interested. I've put a link below. Thank you so much, Krasi, again.
Thank you,
And-
Wada. Thank you, everyone.
And we'll have you soon in a few days to talk about karma.
Karma with Saturn, because he's the Lord of Karma. Again, Saturn.
I'm excited for that. Thank you, everyone, for joining us.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Have a great month ahead. Bye-bye.